McFarland, it is so nice to see you again.
It's great to be with you too. Thank you.
KT, this latest Israeli-Palestinian war it's absolutely terrible. It's been playing out now for the better part of 2 weeks. But isn't this all largely of Joe Biden's own making?
Oh, 100%. Look, Trump left office and the Middle East was at peace. And here's how it was at peace. The Israelis had signed historic agreements with Israel. Those wars were not going to happen. The United States had put sanctions on Iran. So Iran was not able to support the Palestinians. And in effect, the Palestinians had been marginalized. The Palestinians get their funding three ways: one from the United States government, two from the Arabs, and three from Iran. Well, in the Trump administration, we cut off the American aid that was only being used for weapons by the Palestinians. With the Palestinians, we're not getting any aid from the Arab countries because of the Israeli-Palestinian peace agreement. And they weren't getting anything from Iran because Iran didn't have any money because the sanctions were such a powerful impact on their economy. So as a result, there was peace. And the Palestinians, who are led by unelected, aged, corrupt leaders who stay in power only because they make war, the Palestinians would have eventually, within a year or two, they would have been forced to make a peace agreement with Israel.
KT.
What Biden does, he comes in, he does all the old things again. Aid to the Palestinians, allows the Iranians to give aid, and so here we are, a cycle of violence all over again.
All over again, exactly. I feel like if the president was in full control of his faculties when Congresswoman Tlaib sort of went up to him and started harassing him about the situation in Israel, I feel like if he really were in control of his faculties, he would have said, Congresswoman, with all due respect, you're a newly elected member. You've been in Congress for a little over 2 years. You have no idea what you're talking about, all right, which she doesn't. But she seems to think that Hamas is our ally, a terrorist organization, like Al-Qaeda is a terrorist organization, and not the people of Israel.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild. But I think that it doesn't even matter whether Joe Biden has control of his facilities or not. He doesn't have control of his party. And because the United States is so divided, because the Democrats stay in power only with the help of people like that Congresswoman, Joe Biden cannot afford to just tell her to go back into her corner. They're doing the bidding. I mean, it's like the whip hand of the Democrat Party is held by a bunch of spoiled brats.
Yeah.
A small number of people who say, we want the Green New Deal, we want socialism, we want electric cars, we want masks forever. We want to be pro-Palestinian. We're going to devise every policy we can think of to change America. And you guys in the Democratic Party, you have to go along with it, or you're not going to get our votes in the House and in the Senate, and you're not going to be in the White House again. Even though they're just this tiny number of people, they seem to be able to control the agenda of the Democrats.
The progressive left. And that, by the way, thank goodness for Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell there. She sort of, it seems like, just looking, based on the body language, that she sort of bailed the president out during that exchange with Rashida Tlaib here. He sort of, she goes up to him, he kind of puts his arm around her, and you can tell this was not a pleasant conversation. Do you think the president and the congresswoman, or no, check that. I want to play a soundbite for you right there. Of the president making a joke with a reporter. And while you're watching this play out, I want you to imagine if this were former President Donald Trump, if he was sitting in the driver's seat of an electric Ford F-150, if he said the same thing, I don't think everyone would be laughing. Take a listen.
Okay, I'm just going to step on it. I'll come off at 80 miles an hour. You'll see what it is, okay? Ready?
Mr. President, can I ask you a quick question on Israel before you drive away?
No, you can't. Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it.
Your reaction, KT?
Look, I think it's really important, Rob, that people like you and Newsmax and Fox News and all the other outlets give an honest story to the American people, because what that's an example of, not only did Joe Biden do it, but it was never covered by anybody. Why? Because they get a free pass. And that's what I think the greatest danger in America today is the First Amendment isn't really working. It's not working with the cancel culture. It's not working with the far left. It says you're not allowed to have your opinions. And that's why I think it's just so important that those of us who think that America should have other opinions other than just the ones the media, mainstream corporate media covers, are heard. Because, Joe Biden gets away with it. Donald Trump, they would have lynched him if he had done anything near that.
I think the media is totally complicit, KT. I think you make a great point.
Yeah.
KT McFarland, it is so nice to see you again. I take it, are you down in Sarasota still?
No, I'm back in Long Island, and this is my conservatory. I'm a great gardener, Rob. You'll have to come out and visit me sometime.
I would love to see that, KT. We'll make it a date, absolutely. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
All right. Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.